right now. Is Prince William your favourite royal? A new YouGov favourability poll has pitched the royals against one another to find out who we like the most. Prince William's come out on top. Second is the Princess of Wales with 72% favourability. Then it's Anne, the Princess Royal, and King Charles in fourth. Then we are, I don't know, out of the podium places into the Europa League, if you like. Edward and Camilla, they're around 50% favourability. Then the Sussexes, Harry and Meghan, near the bottom there. 20% for Meghan, 27% for Harry. That's the lowest popularity rating she's ever received. The only royal ranked lower is Prince Andrew. 1 in 20 people have a favourable view of him. I'd love you to call in if that's you, because I'd love to hear that reasoning. Reem, is that the ranking? Would you agree? Would you place them in that order?
No,
where would you put them?
I wouldn't. I think Prince Edward is one of the most underrated, or the Duke of Edinburgh, one of the most underrated royals, I think, because he doesn't get a lot of airtime in the media. The media don't necessarily talk about him as much, but he's playing an incredibly important role publicly. He is going across the world and representing this country, and I think he's one of the most underrated royals.
To quote Monty Python, what's he ever done for us? What's he ever done for us,
He's represented us across the world in various different nations, and he's representing the UK on the world stage. I think that he doesn't necessarily care about the media and the landscape and the way in which people in the UK are talking about him.
If you were to list his achievements, what would you put at the top of those? It's a royal knockout?
No, I wouldn't put It's a Royal Knockout on that list. I would probably say that actually the fact that he's been able to represent the UK across the world on the world stage, and countries like Sudan or Qatar, places where actually a lot of the other members of the royal family care more about the way the UK media talk about them. But it feels as though Prince Edward genuinely wants to serve his country. OK. He feels like the Ringo in the group. Do you know what I mean? A good, solid backup, but he's not one of the high flyers. Is that fair? Everyone loves Ringo, don't get me wrong. He's an amazing guy. But yeah, OK. Potentially. I really don't like Meghan. I think she's probably worse.
OK.
All roads lead to not liking Meghan.
Yes.
We talk about the royal family, don't they? I'd put... Well, William and Kate come as a package, don't they? But my favourite is Kate. I just think she... I get a bit giggly, I think. I don't know if it's because I'm a gay man and I fangirl, powerful, dignified, beautiful, beautifully dressed women. I don't know, but her deportment, her elegance, her loyalty, actually, and her sense of kind of quiet privacy.
Is there a difference between those who were born to it and those who chose to be part of it or came to it later? Does that change the way we see them, do you think?
When I think about the late Queen and why I loved her and why I was proud to have her as my Queen, even though I'm not a monarchist or a royalist, it's exactly the same traits that Kate shows. And it's funny, isn't it, that an outsider actually, I think, embodies what the Queen stood for more than any of her own children.
So you'd abolish the monarchy?
No, I think there's a conversation to be had around funding of the monarchy. I flip-flopped on this during my life. I actually think with the current monarchs, with this one excluded, I actually quite like the institution at the moment. And I think that Kate's a really good example of someone who is a shining beacon of what it should mean to be British around the world.
Interesting. Well, listen, don't go anywhere, because we're going to be taking your calls on this after the break. Is Prince William your favourite royal? If he isn't, who is? After that, we're asking if you back the care workers in Scotland who've announced they'll strike later this month for the first time in a decade. Do you think that's OK, or do you think they're key workers and shouldn't be allowed to strike? Almost all stated a preference. I have to say this, I think a lot of people go with the one they've met. I met the Princess Royal, I met Princess Anne. We went to lighthouses together. It was a lot of fun. She's hilarious, I'm going to say. So she tops my poll as much as anybody. And also Jim Royal from the royal family. Hilarious. Judith is in Flintshire. Who's your favourite royal, Judith? Is it William?
Yeah, Prince William, and I'm not surprised that Kate's come second. Them two are made for each other.
Well, you'd hope so, wouldn't you?
I like Prince William, and I think if Diana was looking over him now, she'd be so proud.
He's had a lot to deal with, hasn't he, Judith?
Yeah.
What is it about? What is it about the way he's played the cards he's been dealt that impresses you so much?
Yeah. Well, I think he's done. He's with everything that's gone on. He's just kept quiet and secretive about it. He hasn't, done what Prince Harry's done. he sticks by his family. He's very close to his family.
Isn't it easy being number one, though, Judith? First son, always easier, isn't it? Harder being the second and working out what your role is?
Yeah, well, it's, he's got to deal. He's got to deal with that, hasn't he? I mean, he's our next future king.
Well, that's the truth. OK, thanks for your call, Judith. Sam is in Kent. Who is your favourite royal? Is it William, Sam?
No.
OK.
It's Princess Anne.
Princess Anne. Tell me why.
Yeah, because she is absolutely amazing what work she does. And she never, ever, she's not more on the TV or this, that and the other. She does it because she wants to do it, and she feels it's like she does it because of her heart, her character, and the way she is and who she is.
So a lot of people say this, Sam, that she does a lot of work behind the scenes. I'm wondering, isn't the point of being a royal recognition, that people see what you're doing and you're drawing attention and awareness towards things that maybe people wouldn't see otherwise?
Not really. I mean, yeah. I mean, you got, people like William likes to do this, that and the other, and he's on TV. Yeah, great. It's good. It's good for the royal family, and it's good for England. But what Princess Anne, she's just, she just does it. She don't care about media. She don't really care about anything else like that. She just wants. She does it because she feels that she wants to do that. It's a bit like Diana, really, that how she wanted to be. And I just don't. Prince William, yeah, don't get me wrong, Kate, and they're good and all that. But for me, it's Harry and Meghan, anyways. But yeah.
Go on.
I'm sensing a common theme here, where, I mean, I agree with Sam, and I think Sam and I have similar values in this respect, because we've both said royals that don't necessarily like to put themselves out there in the UK media as much as the others, but people that feel as though they are doing incredibly good work, but it isn't being recognised in the same way as the others. Maybe this is just really, really great
Quiet accomplishment. Quiet accomplishment.
And I think that both Princess Anne and Prince Edward encompass that kind of principle.
OK, fab. We're going to take another call. Alice is in Manchester. Who's your favourite royal, Alice?
Oh, good morning. My favourite is just like the rest of you, well, most of you, Princess Anne. I just think she's never put a foot wrong. I do love the king too, but of course with the Diana scandal, he has to come second. But the one thing I would take issue with, and maybe you disagree, is that, you talk about royalty, but I love Princess Kate, but she's not really royal. She's married into royalty. She, to me, is, as you say, fantastic. To me, she is the backbone of the future. They have to
marry. Well, they don't have to marry someone. I mean, but she's HRH, isn't she? She's part of the family. I think.
But I'm talking about the royalty that have been brought up to be royal.
Oh, you're talking about DNA.
Well, not DNA. Is it DNA really? Well, yes, I suppose I am, because that's what the royalty is all about. It says
royal blood.
You can't just get rid of this family and get another family and declare them as royalty.
Alice, it sounds to me like you're saying there are royals and there are hangers-on, and you have to divide the two.
No. I'm not talking about hangers-on. Not at all. I love Kate. I think she's wonderful. But I just think that at the moment I'm focusing more on the question of the royalty as such. I mean, for example, I would consider Prince George and the rest of the children royalty. Okay. But I do think she's wonderful.
Well,
but Princess Anne, like the last gentleman said, the last caller said, she doesn't care what other people think. She does what she thinks is right and just gets on with it.
I think she's been a terrific sister as well. That's my personal view as well. Well, there you go. Some people are born royal, some have royalty thrust upon them. Thank you to Alice. Thank you for all your calls on that. I wish we had longer, but we're going to have to move on now.